Welcome to the Ride With Us podcast, presented by the American Coaster Enthusiasts, the world's largest ride enthusiast organization dedicated to the appreciation, promotion, and preservation of roller coasters around the globe. So please keep your hands and feet inside the podcast at all times as we welcome your hosts.
Hello, enthusiasts! It's your host, Jessica Gardner. Welcome back to the Ride With Us podcast, the official podcast of the American Coaster Enthusiasts, where after a long winter hiatus, coaster season is officially back. That's right, the off-season is over. The trains are cycling again. Parks are reopening across the country, and we're kicking off a brand new season of Ride With Us with a brand new original theme song created just for the podcast by our very own world-famous DJs who happen to also be on our podcast team, the Perry Twins. So crank it up, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode, because this season is going to be packed with interviews, behind-the-scenes insights, and plenty of coaster nerdiness. And today's episode blasts us straight in to the LEGO universe. We're heading to both LEGOLAND Florida Resort and LEGOLAND California Resort to explore the brand new LEGO Galaxy themed lands, an expansion to both parks, which includes a brand new family coaster, Galacticoaster. In Florida, they've started with the coasters, characters, a shop, and a kids' play area. But in California, the expansion is massive, with the coaster, characters, and play area, plus 3 different food and beverage spots, 2 flat rides, a build and play area. It's huge. But I know you all want to hear the stats on Galacticoaster. It's a space-themed launch coaster designed to bring younger riders and families into the world of thrill rides, while still packing plenty of excitement for coaster fans. I was lucky enough to get to both parks for their opening days. I actually had my 400th coaster on Galacticoaster in Florida, and you are all going to love this one. Developed by the creative team at Merlin Magic Making and built in partnership with the German coaster manufacturer Art Engineering, the ride features twisting and controlled spinning layout, vibrant, bright, cosmic theming, and a storyline centered around LEGO space exploration. It's a modern tribute to the classic LEGO space sets that fans have loved for decades. But what really makes this project interesting is how it came together. From engineering a ride that's thrilling but still accessible for younger guests, to designing an entire themed land around LEGO's sci-fi legacy, it took an entire team of designers, engineers, and storytellers. So today, we're going behind the scenes with some of the people who helped bring this galaxy to life. Members of the team who worked on the design, development, and execution of this brand new addition to the LEGOLAND parks. So while I was in LEGOLAND, Florida, I grabbed an interview with Senior Project Manager Blake Boyter for you all. And then over in California, I approached someone I have been wanting to talk to for ages, Senior Project Manager Flora. And then she introduced me to Project Manager Jordan Sloane, who took me on a little walk and talk tour around the galaxy. I'm sure you'll hear little bits and pieces of the land while you listen. This is a really fun one, so strap in. It's your first ride of the year on the Ride With Us podcast. Here's me and Blake Boyter. How is today going? Are you so excited that this day is finally here?
It's a huge relief, and it's just so exciting at this point to see our guests having a great time. We've had a couple previews, so it's been incredibly positive. The kids are loving it. And the greatest compliment I can get is that people are wanting to ride it over and over and over. And for us, that's just the most exciting thing, because it means that we've packed so much in here, you can't take it all in one ride.
I agree with that 100%. The second I got off of it, I said I want to get right back on. It's definitely a re-rideable coaster and so great for all ages. Has this been the past 4 years of your life?
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. So funny enough, I joined Merlin about 4 years ago, and it was just as this project was starting up. And so I had the privilege to just jump in on day one and take it from a blue sky idea from our creative team and our ops team all the way to what you see here today.
What was the blue sky idea, and is it pretty close to what we ended up with?
It's very close, yes. So we had a couple of ideas that may have been space, may not have been space. but it pretty quickly landed on, the space concept, indoor, big roller coaster. Those were ideas from the very start. And we co-developed this one with Lego. So we've never partnered with Lego in the way we've done for this ride. And I think that really comes through in all the content, the Lego DNA of you get to build a spaceship.
Yeah.
So it's taking that idea of what you do at home, how much fun you can have with the brick, the set, and everything you can build. Except here you can build and ride it in a way that you can never do at your house.
So give me some stats on Galacticoaster.
So it's an amazing ride. It's for not only our older audiences, but it's for the core demographic for 36 and above. But this is a pretty fun coaster. It's got a high speed launch at the very beginning that's up to 40 miles an hour. We give you a nice little power boost halfway through to make sure you're going to get away from these asteroids. And we can control the spinning. And so that's really important for us, for storytellers, because there are certain things we want you to see and experience in a certain way. And that controlled spinning allows us to do that. And that's something we've never done before in a Legoland park, is to be able to spin a ride vehicle on a coaster. And so I think it really helps with the experience. It makes it feel more intense, and it's just an awesome thrill.
It definitely does, because I really like that you were able to turn towards whether it was a screen or projections of some kind, whether it was practical effects, the separators going over your head and you dodging all of them. I thought that's really great how you all designed it, and so smooth. Can you talk about working with art engineering?
Absolutely. So art engineering has been a big partner of ours for quite a while. If you've ridden Ninjago at any of our Legoland parks, that's art. So we go way back with them. And so it was a natural progression to step it up to the next evolution of indoor dark roller coasters. So from the very beginning, they were one of our partners, 3 years ago, to help us design the experience and make sure that it's thrilling enough. And just the vehicles are really cool. Because they're naturally the Lego set, the pieces fly in that you get to select in the queue. And so super smooth. It's the latest and greatest technology from art and from the engineering world in the coasters. And I think that really shines. This ride has got more media, more video, more special effects all throughout the ride. And you're out in space riding these vehicles that go through the building, and the vehicles run at different speeds depending on temperature and humidity and weight of the vehicle. And so we have to be very careful how we put all this stuff together to make sure that every guest, every ride gets the right sequence, the right audio with the right video, that you get the explosions or the meteorites separating or the swarm of separators chasing you. So there's a lot of work and sensors and programming and a big team that helped make all that happen along with the rod system.
We have to talk about Biff Dipper, the animatronic, Legoland's first animatronic, am I right?
So, yes, and we actually call him a robot minifig.
Oh, excuse me.
So, he's our first robot minifig here in North America. He's super cool. So, being able to see a minifig come to life, to move, to look at you, to interact with the guests, it's so amazing. And when the kids see it, they light up because they've never seen a minifig talk to them and move. And so he's super cool.
He's so cool. He works so well with the land and looks so much like the characters do in the movies. He moves like the characters do in the movies.
Yep.
He's not stiff. He's not stasis. I feel like there's life to it. He's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And a fun fact, if you could fill him with minifigs, real minifigs, it would be over 10,000 minifigs that fit into him.
Well,
so he's larger than life.
Are we going to be able to build our own Biff Dipper at home?
Maybe one day. Yeah.
I can't help but notice that there are different Lego sets from all different generations kind of put here together. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Absolutely. And this is one of the core things we worked on at the very beginning. And a lot of our universes, you don't get all of the different sets like you do with this. With this being a spaceport, we wanted the classic M-Tron, the Blacktron, the space, the Arctic space. We wanted all those different sets that, I grew up with some of those. One of the sets actually in the queue I had as a kid, and I still have it. I had to dig it out of the attic and rebuild it. But it's super cool that we've got all of that historic space. And then we've got all the new stuff too. We actually, when we were designing it early on with Lego, we got to go to Billing, to the birthplace of Lego, and work with Lego set designers to figure out what we should be incorporating into this great attraction. And so that was just super cool to see that. And then I think it's going to be really good for, families to be able to bring, hey, I used to play with Blacktron and Mtron, and now we've got the new Lego sets here for the space. So I think it's just really cool to bring the whole family together.
I think so too. And Lego nerds, you're going to love this. You're going to find little Easter eggs all throughout the queue and throughout here in the land that you're going to want to take pictures with. I just know it.
Absolutely. And then my favorite is our namesake over there, 885. That's the homage to the first Lego space set ever created. The California Park has 886, and that was the second set. It's actually a series of 6 different sets that came out at the same time. So we could potentially build a couple of spaceports in the future.
Oh, maybe an 887, an 888?
It could happen.
All right. Any plans beyond Galacticoaster, do you think? It looks like maybe there's some space around here. Could we potentially expand?
Absolutely. And we're already fast at work on the next project.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about those, but we don't slow down. This is the next evolution for us, just in the interactivity, the media, the audio, the immersion, just everything. And so now we've got to top this one for our next one.
All right. Oh, I'm looking forward to that for sure. Congratulations on a fantastic opening.
Absolutely.
Blake, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
With Flora Liu, the Senior Project Manager from LEGOLAND, California. We're here in LEGO Galaxy on opening of Galacticoaster. What does this feel like for you?
It feels very unreal, especially when you work on something for 3+ years, and it was the countless night, and just seeing the smiley face of all our guests is all you have worked so long for. So I'm just very, very exciting. And the best moment is standing on the unloading platform when guests coming out of the ride, just excited. And I was like, wow, it's all worth it, all the work.
This is such an incredible coaster for this park. And honestly, truthfully, just such an incredible land. I mean, it's completely different than what it looked like before. So you're saying this was 3 years in the making?
Actually, in total, about 4 years in the making. And for us, kind of starting construction, really getting into City of Carlsbad, start permitting, it's about like 3 years. And this is actually the first roller coaster coming to LEGOLAND, California in the past 20 years. And also the first ever all indoor roller coaster we've ever built for Merlin. So I think it's just very, very special for us to all coming together and like deliver something that's truly awesome for our guests.
Can you tell me about the decision to have it on both coasts?
I think it's because that we realized, so if you really are a Lego fan, there's like classic Lego space set. There's like Space Buggy 885 and 886. We really want to pay tribute in terms for Lego Galaxy that you're going to have a different spaceport for our guests to explore. And especially consider Merlin as such a umbrella for a lot of amazing attractions. So we want to give our guests the opportunity to explore different areas and still having similar experiences.
I think it's absolutely a great idea. And California really doesn't have a coaster like this out here, do they? I mean, this has got to be so exciting just in general for LEGOLAND California.
Yeah, I think a lot of, if you really grew up in Southern California, a lot of kids or parents, the sentiment you'll hear is that I feel like my kids growing out of LEGOLAND, and we want to actually change that. We're trying to do a Lego Galaxy that are truly offering something for kids with all ages in one family. So if you really zoom out to see the entire land, we're going to have Galacticoaster is for like the minimum height requirement, 36 inches, is for you can be like 3-year-old and still riding it if you're really, really brave. But we still have like another coaster like G-Force test facility that's for older kids, and then for the Duplo Launch and Land is for kids that's more toddler because of the minimum height requirements 34 inches. So we're trying to really do a Lego Galaxies to collect our space cadets together to train, grab a bite, and really blast off to the space for epic adventure. That's all we want our guests to feel like. And I think there are going to be a lot of roller coasters in the world, but how about a roller coaster that's interactive for a family to work together? At the end of the day, that's what all Lego is about, for everybody to come build together, right? So a family, you come together, you go in front of the kiosk, you pick your nose, the wing, the tail, and also some extra. And my favorite part is that you're able to add a disco ball or like even burger wing on your spacecraft. How amazing is that? And then you board onto the station. Then you can see, as a family, you see the spacecraft you built together and customize before you're launching into the space. And I feel like it really keep you entertained and engaged the entire time until you blast off into the first launch. Obviously, there are a total about 600 people actually worked on this job from the day one. They flew from all over the world. They're expert. They're coming over. But the other part is we have a lot of local community participants. So, for example, where we're standing for these thermoplastic, their specialty is doing road striping on the highways. They've never worked in the theme park, but I was like, hey, come on board. We're about to do this thermoplastic. I want you to print a globe on the ground. And then they were so worried because they said, my family, my kids, everybody in the community in the Southern California are going to come over to see what I'm doing. So they're worried about like actually messing it up. It's kind of cute in my opinion. So I feel like this project not only for us is like bring something like a Lego Galaxy all comes together, bring all Lego past, present, and future come together. Is all how we bring all the specialty vendor, all the community coming together and to truly deliver something for their family to come enjoy. They can be proud and say, hey, your parents, your dad, your mom, I'm part of this project. Come and experience. How cool is that?
The theming that you see during the Galacticoaster ride is very clear, which is rare for an indoor roller coaster in the dark. Can you talk about that process and how you synced up the coaster to make it so that the guests see exactly what you want them to see?
The fun part about building indoor roller coaster is that you can see a lot of things. You want to make it dark and you want to see all these different elements. And then a lot of people, every time I walk around the park, people say, Flora, why do you make your life so hard? Why do you build your structure first before you build your track? And I was like, okay, have you ever thought about I need to hang all these like elements, theming elements, interactives coming from the roof? So without a building, how do I hang it, right? So that's like the starting point. And we actually make a lot of coordination. We install certain section of the track, and then we install the theming above to making sure we have the best view, and then you continue going that. It's not just we finish all the coaster together, we have other people coming in. It's not like we have all the theming in, then we build a coaster. It's like deliberate dance, and it's many simulation to making sure we're facing the right direction, we're rotating at the right time, and our sound is fully synced as well. So we have probably 30 different times the logistic plan, and I'm just glad eventually we made it. It was really hard. The first iteration to the last iteration is definitely very different, and we installed a bunch of sensors to help us test it, not just feel like everybody riding onto testing, but we also have the sensor to making sure we're replicate that experience. So you have the QR code all along the entire track giving us a signal, hey, this is where the ride is at this location. So that's why you're going to trigger the show, because sometimes the dispatching speed is not going to be the same, right? If you keep it consistent, what if we have 88 guests? Because the special part for our vehicle is we have 2 ADA cars, and you're able to open the side panel to allow easy lateral transfer. And then if they take a little bit longer, how do you sync up the show together with your ride, right? So that's how we have the QR code, how it's connecting back to the vehicle itself, and how connecting to the show give the trigger. So when this vehicle coming at this time, that's how we want to trigger the show, trigger the sound, and trigger the rotation for the ride.
I just love that you're a woman working in this industry. I always like to highlight females in this industry. That's really important to me. For anyone who's listening who would love to do what you do you have any advice for them?
So I'm a senior project manager with a project delivery team sits under Merlin Magic Making. So that's being said, my whole job is doing the day-to-day construction and also procure all the vendors and bring everybody coming on site to do a lot of coordination, making sure it comes all together. So that's a kind of very vague way to say that. So I'll give you a little bit more detail. So if you're working in a traditional commercial building, you will have a general contractor. You coming over and you hand them over a set of a plan. You said, hey, build this, and this is the way you're going to do. For us, building theme parks is a little bit different. So what you do is that we're going to have an architect to come on board to build the housing and everything, but we're going to have a lot of ride vendor. We're going to have theming vendor. We're going to have landscaper. Everything all falls under our direct management. So my role is like a conductor for the orchestra. I'm going to bring all the players come together and making sure we're kind of delivering this project. The funny part is I like to tell people, I never, when you're younger, you never thought of one day, oh my God, my life is about building a roller coaster. And you really never dreamed about in a million years. Even I grew up play a lot of roller coaster tycoon. And I remember I like to build the pink roller coaster. I like to build a queue line too in the crazy setup that nobody can get out, or you kind of build a crazy speed. And now coming to work here I never worked in theme park. I always in construction. So this is like once in a lifetime opportunity. And I realized, wow, like building roller coaster in the game is very different than in the real life. There's a lot more testing. And I would have said advice is that just trying to really get your foot into the door to work somewhere, understanding how kind of understanding how construction works, understanding how project delivery works, and even understanding how operation works. There is like such a big project, right? You don't have to be the only one on the project. That's why Merlin Magic Making, when we all come together, it's a whole team. We all collaborate with each other. We're contributing a small part. Even right now, you're interviewing me, but I literally representing everybody behind me in LEGOLAND, California, and Merlin Magic Making to deliver this project. So there are going to be tons of opportunity for y'all.
This is Jordan Sloane. He's a project manager at LEGOLAND, California, and he is going to show us all around LEGO Galaxy. So what is it that we need to know, first and foremost, about LEGO Galaxy, the brand new land opened here at LEGOLAND, California?
First off, it's an amazing spot, amazing for all ages. We've got sets that go back all the way to the 70s and theming surrounded from those really classic space sets all the way to modern day sets. So there's something really for the old adult enthusiasts down to the youngest of kids. So we've got great interactions, brick build activities, little play areas for the littlest of the crew, and a really awesome indoor roller coaster and some really tasty food as well.
Tasty food. All right, we've got a food place right behind us. So this was something else just recently. This isn't a brand new build, right?
Yes, correct. So this is actually the former spot of our Funtown Urban Kitchen.
Okay.
And now we've completely renovated the space and transformed it into what we like to call the ultimate food outlet, or UFO for short. So it's an intergalactic food court, which pulls from different planets and really cool cuisines themed after the different characters all throughout LEGO Galaxy.
It's really cute. I think I saw Stellar Crust, so that's pizza and chicken, some Stardust sips and sweets. Do you have a favorite item in there I should check out?
I do. I like the queso tacos. Has a really crispy cheese. You can get it with birria or chicken. I personally like the chicken the best.
All right.
My favorite.
Okay, you heard it here. All right. On to the next. Over here, there's a little outdoor.
Yeah. So you mentioned the sweets. Over here, we have Stardust Treats. Has really good ube churros. If you've ever heard of ube before.
I love ube.
Okay,
ube
that's
everything.
the place to get it.
Okay. Are they
my
purple?
Favorite treat. Yeah, they've got purple, and they've got some Pop Rock crystal sugar, so it gets a little bit of a pop sensation in your mouth. It's a really fun experience.
That's cool. This massive building is the brand new indoor coaster, Galacticoaster, which I just rode, which is amazing. Have you been on it?
I have, many a time. So it's my favorite ride in the entire park.
And how does Galacticoaster fit into LEGO Galaxy?
The entire mission of Galacticoaster is to protect the galaxy from the asteroid of probable destruction. So you assemble a spacecraft. There's a really cool interaction where you get to design your spacecraft, scan it in, lock it in. When you hop on the ride, you actually see yourself in the spacecraft you designed, and then you go on through your mission through the galaxy, and then we'll have to see what happens.
You'll have to see what happens next. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right.
So we're standing in front of the Duplo Tot Spot. It's an interactive playground with some really cool elements of Duplo space where kids can have a fun time. play around and enjoy some shade inside the Lego Galaxy.
Got the nice squishy floors that we know and love from playground area.
Yeah.
And then behind it looks to be some sort of building area, right?
Correct. So that's our brick build experience. It's called Rocket Assembly Bay. And what you do is you go through a bunch of different Lego pieces, build your own spacecraft, and then you actually get to scan it into the digital world and fly the spacecraft that you designed around, destroy different asteroids, land on different planets, and have a really cool interactive experience that you built into the digital.
How does that work?
It's actually a camera that will take a scan of your actual Lego model and then put that into a digital version of that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Wow,
pretty
that's
cool
amazing.
camera scanning technology.
Very cool. I don't think I've seen anything like that. Is there anything else like that here?
We do have a couple different scanning, similar brick build activities, but I think this is one of the best we've done so far.
It looks really amazing. We're going to have to play. Now we're at the Orbital Outpost, also the gift shop that you exit through after leaving Galacticoaster.
Yes.
So you can't miss it, and also you shouldn't miss it because the merch is so cute.
Yes, there's some really cool accessories, different pieces of clothing, bags, and some really cool Lego sets that have different nods to different theming you'd see in the land. So it's something you definitely don't want to miss as you exit the coaster.
Now we're in front of this absolutely adorable flat ride. What are we calling this?
This is Duplo Launch and Land. So geared towards some of the younger kids. It's a simple ride that goes up and down, spins around, and gives you a really cool panoramic view of the land. So you're bouncing up and down. You actually get to control your spaceship. So there's two different joysticks, one to go up and one to spin around. It's a fun ride and it looks beautiful at night.
So they're doing it themselves.
Yep.
What happens at night? Are the lights on?
Yeah, we've got some lights on at the bottom of the spacecraft, so it looks pretty cool in the sun setting.
Awesome. And then we've got another ride over here.
So this
sort of looks like a little octopus.
Yeah, this is actually G-Force training, and it's a really cool ride. It'll take you up. There's different cars attached to the alien's tentacles, and it'll turn you a little bit sideways. A lot of people think it's pretty thrilling, so you got to come out here to check it out.
It looks a little crazy. I'll admit, it might be a little more intense than Galacticoaster even.
It might be. Some people have said that. So.
It's so cute. And then finally, I think we covered everything. And then there's also satellite bites. So 3 different food stations in this land. What was it like working on this project? How long have you been part of it?
Yeah, so I've been on this project for just about a year. And it's been a total blast. The team here is really great to work for, and it's been fun working with all of our really incredible vendors, because to build something of this magnitude, it takes a lot of hands, a lot of people. So a lot of the credit goes to everybody that's poured in those long hours and that dedication to really make something special. So, and who doesn't love building theme park rides? So it's really a blast.
And what advice would you give for anybody who'd want to do what you do? Because I know there's people listening right now who used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon and design their own theme park lands. And what would you say to them?
Yeah. So I, growing up, also played Roller Coaster Tycoon, loved playing with Legos. Just follow the things that make you excited to get up every day, you know, whether that's building things, creating things, designing things. There's jobs out there for everybody. Just study hard, think hard, and dream big. So
I love it. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to give me a VIP tour around Legoland's new Galaxy, Lego Galaxy. And now I'm going to go and build a spaceship, I think.
Yeah.
Might as well. We're in Legoland.
Might as well.
Got to build.
A huge thank you to our guests, Blake Boyter, Flora Liu, and Jordan Sloane, for taking the time to share the story behind the brand new Lego Galaxy and the creation of Galacticoaster at both Legoland Florida Resort and Legoland California Resort. I love hearing about parks investing in new coasters, and I loved seeing how the worlds of Lego storytelling, themed entertainment, and coaster engineering came together to inspire the next generation of riders. Listeners, thank you for kicking off another coaster season with us as parks reopen and new attractions debut around the country and around the world. We're excited to keep bringing you behind-the-scenes stories from the people who make the thrills possible. So don't forget to subscribe, rate and review, and share the podcast so more coaster fans can ride along with us. Make sure you're following Ace everywhere you consume your social media to get your daily updates on what's happening at parks around the world. And one more shout out to the Perry twins for our brand new Ride With Us theme song. Thanks for listening. Hope you get to ride a coaster today.
Ride With Us is produced by the American Coaster Enthusiasts, a registered 501c3 organization. And we will see you at the parks.